That's right, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day! Get up and check that hog out there! Yeah! Ooey, ooey, come here, Groundhog!
What the hell?
Groundhog Day felt special right from the start, from the first time I read the script. The reaction to the film was so amazing. That's the thing that continues to stand out in my mind, because no film I've worked on has gotten this kind of attention from so many different communities. It opened well, and the reviews were really good. By Monday, the film was playing in Santa Monica, where I lived, and my producing partner, Trevor Albert, called me and said, people are picketing the theater on the 3rd Street Promenade. I said, what do you mean they're picketing the theater? He said, Hasidic Jews are walking around with signs that say, are you living the same day over and over again? So obviously they were using the movie as a tool for proselytizing a religious point of view. And I thought, well, that's a good sign. They're not opposed to the film. They think the film is demonstrating something or saying something to the audience that they can somehow tailgate on.
What would you do if you were stuck in one place and every day was exactly the same and nothing that you did mattered?
That about sums it up for me.
Then we heard from someone we knew in San Diego area who was a yogi. And she said the yoga community loved the film. And then the letters started coming right away, within the first couple weeks. Psychiatrists wrote to say that the movie is a perfect metaphor for psychoanalysis, because you keep revisiting the same material over and over again, each time with increasing insight.
So, what do I do?
I think we should meet again. How's tomorrow for you?
So we sort of knew that we've had this embrace from the spiritual and religious and psychological community that very few films had ever experienced, I think. So instantly people were identifying the film as a teaching, and in such a parochial way, each seeing it as an expression of their own particular point of view without recognizing that it was, in fact, a universal point of view.
I'm sorry? What was that again?
I'm a god.
You're God.
I'm a god. I'm not the god. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm welcome in churches, synagogues, mosques, and psychiatrists' offices all around the country. It's like having made Caddyshack. I can walk onto any golf course and probably get a free drink. Films are really interesting because the fact that they're frozen, it's not like going back to see the same play over and over again where the actor may change his performance. The film is the film. It's done. It's like Jews reading the Torah every year. The Torah doesn't change. We change. So every time people come to Groundhog Day, they're coming to it at a different age, at a different time of life. Their circumstances may have changed, and they may find something different in it.
Okay, campers, rise and shine. And don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today. It's cold out there every day.
I'm proud of the fact that the film continues to speak to people with these constantly changing perspectives. The New York Times Sunday magazine did an article on popular culture, and they posed the question to scholars, critics, thinkers from many different disciplines: what of popular culture will remain 100 years from now? And a Harvard philosophy professor wrote that of all the movies, the movie he chose was Groundhog Day. He said 100 years from now, people will watch Groundhog Day and it'll be a marker of some kind. It'll still be relevant. It'll still be meaningful.
This is one time where television really fails to capture the true excitement of a large squirrel predicting the weather. I, for one, am very grateful to have been here. From Punxsutawney, this is Phil Connors. So long.
We're probably the most entertained civilization in the history of the world. We have more entertainment choices than anyone has ever imagined. And a lot of things are pretty entertaining, but not a lot of things give us something that allows us to walk away saying, I learned something, I gained something, I found something. I made a real connection to the material. This movie seemed to be working on that level. So that was very gratifying. My ex-wife used to call me the rabbi, because I think she thought my secret intent was to go around and sort of convert the world to a more spiritual point of view.
Hello, Father. Let's get you someplace warm, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Remember me?
One interesting thing that happened was Groundhog Day required a groundhog. So we found an animal wrangler, Bill Hoffman, I think is his name. And he was a local guy, and we contacted him months in advance of shooting the film. And he said, yeah, I can get you a groundhog. He said, I think the best thing would be for me to breed you some groundhogs. So he found a mating pair, and he raised some groundhogs. And we used his best groundhog scooter for all this stuff where Bill's actually working with the groundhog and where they're taking him in and out of the cage and stuff. So we're doing the scene where Bill has kidnapped Scooter and he's driving, there's a high-speed car chase, and he's got Scooter up on the wheel driving, and Bill improvises lines to the Scooter, check your mirrors, he says, side of your eyes, and then the groundhog gets a little squirrely.
Don't drive angry. Don't drive angry.
We used every last frame of it in the film, right up to the moment that Scooter turned around and chomped down on Bill's hand. Took a really big bite out of Bill's hand. And Bill was wearing leather gloves. He bit through the gloves. The groundhog was just so upset. We'd been shooting for a long time, and he'd been probably getting a little car sick, really annoyed. And so we stopped shooting at that point and sent Bill to the clinic and bandaged him up. But, you know, that was funny. I had actually mentioned it to Tom Hanks at one point. I hadn't worked with Tom. I liked him very much. But Bill was just a much more logical choice and a really great choice for it. And finally, Tom saw the film, and he said to me, you know, it's really good that Bill did the movie and not me. And I said, why? And he said, well, with me, everyone thinks of me as a good guy. And when I was, if I was playing Phil Connors, they would just be waiting for the moment when I turned from nasty guy to good guy. He said, with Bill, you never know. You really never know who he's going to be in a movie because he's that amazing combination of good and nasty. And so he said it was much better for the movie that it was Bill Murray and not me. And I agree with him.
Hey, Phil? Phil? Hey, Phil Connors.
Ned?
My Groundhog Day is probably pretty much the life I lead, which is probably why people relate to the film, because everyone feels to a certain extent that they're living the same day over and over again. I feel like I'm stuck with myself. I keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Every time there's a potential for a disagreement with my wife, I say, oh, don't say that. I know I shouldn't say that. This is really going to piss her off. Don't say it, and then I say it.
That's for making me care about you.
How many times do you have to relive the same argument with someone or make the same mistake in your life? The key to Groundhog Day for any of us, and for me in particular, is having the insight, the courage, and the energy to make those changes when you come to those moments where you could make the same mistake again. We face those choices every single day. The things we tell ourselves we're going to do, the things we tell ourselves we shouldn't do. If you could change one little thing, then everything might change. And to that extent, I feel somewhat stuck. Probably less so than a lot of people, because I've known people like Bill Murray who are not afraid to walk to the edge, to really shake things up, to take big chances in life. And I've come to appreciate in my own life what risk-taking can mean in a positive sense, and how positively you can change your life if you're just willing to act on it.
Oh.
Something is different.
Good or bad?
Anything different is good.